Morning everyone, just thought it'd be nice to get back into this swing of Monday mornings and join me here in the Assembly Hall. Got a few messages for you, both upper and lower six, so I'll whiz through these, and I've also got some messages from the sixth form team today as well. Beginning with upper six and exams. Upper six, I've sent you an email with a link to a government website which explains a little bit more detail about what's going on with exams. Key points for you are confirmation now that there are going to be no exams this summer. So that 10% that I talked about is not happening. The system is going to be estimated grades from the school. Those grades are going to be based on mocks and A-level standard work. We haven't yet got any confirmation on the status of coursework, but it is likely to form part of the assessment. They do acknowledge though, if you've been unable to finish coursework, they understand that, and they're not necessarily expecting it to be complete where it can't. So you're unlikely to get a standalone coursework mark. They also talk about prior attainment playing a part in your grade. I think probably at this stage we would assume that will be your GCSE profile. It's not going to make up the bulk of the grade, but I guess they're going to link that to the prediction or the estimate that we give to try and give a clue as to whether the progress looks right. There is going to be an opportunity to appeal, so if you feel the grade that they come up with after they've had our estimate, and remember what they come up with might not be exactly the same as our estimate, but there will be an opportunity to appeal, and there is also a further kind of safety net in that there's an opportunity to sit an exam itself, and the way they word this is as soon as is reasonably possible after the beginning of the academic year. So we're a little bit guessing at this point, but they're talking perhaps there in terms of September, and they are talking in terms of trying to do that so that you can still connect with a university place for October. But we'll obviously update you and guide you through all of that process as it happens. Have a look at the link though, because there's a load of detail there as well. Probably more importantly, what are the implications for you? Well, firstly, I'd say keep on engaging in those remote lessons, keep participating in those, and really important that you complete work. You can expect some assessments probably before and after Easter, and the idea is now that as you're getting towards the end of courses, you should be showing the best of yourself in those assessments. Top tip would be make sure that you revise over Easter, because those assessments that take place after in the summer term after Easter, we really want you to be showing the best of yourself so that we can submit grades that support your very best work. Lower six, you may be wondering about predicted grade exams. It is really difficult to predict exactly when these are going to take place. If Boris is right and we're talking a sort of 12 weeks under control and a best case scenario, we're back to school by say June, second half of the summer term, then it is probable in those circumstances that we would look to have your predicted grade exams at the end of the summer term. However, slightly depending on circumstances, if we get back later than that, or even if we don't get back this academic year at all, then we would be looking to hold those exams right at the beginning of next year. So that would look like September. It would give you summer to revise, and obviously we turn around those results as quick as possible for predicted grades. Again, I would say message to lower six as well. Whatever happens, make sure you revise over Easter so you're in the best possible position when those exams do come about, and we'll keep you in the loop about what's going on. Right, sort of slightly broader issue and very contextual one at the moment, social distancing. I would say Friday, upper six, you did an absolutely fantastic job at making it a really, really memorable day. Definitely for us. I hope you feel it was a memorable day for you as well. And in some ways, bizarrely, a day that didn't necessarily have the usual structure of a Leavers Day, but I genuinely feel it'll be one that I'll remember for a long, long time. That said, it is now time to practice social distancing much more effectively. Really important all of you take this very, very seriously. I'm sure your parents will have given you some guidance on it, but you've got to understand we've got a responsibility to try and be a bit of a firewall against the virus that's going around. it's not just about you as an individual and whether you're going to get ill. So you may well feel, well, I don't mind, it's just going to be, I'll tough it out and I don't mind getting a bit ill. But actually, you've got to remember there's going to be a period of sort of 3 up to 14 days where you could be walking around with no symptoms but have that illness and be spreading it to other people. So there's a huge amount of social responsibility here. Please exercise that. Please be sensible about social distancing. I know you may all feel immortal at this stage of your lives, but just make sure you're sensible and that you're thinking about other people as well. Obviously, no escaping coronavirus in the news. If you are feeling anxious, completely understandable to feel that way. A couple of tips. I know Mr. Anderson's going to talk about a few things, Mrs. Kane's going to talk about a few things, but I would say, one, try and avoid kind of constantly reading, consuming, spreading news, whether it be by social media, on the TV, newspapers. Just try and give yourself a break from that, because I think reading about it all the time is likely to lead to kind of catastrophizing about it. I think school stuff is obviously a good distraction. I would definitely say stay connected with people during this time. Doing some exercise is great. Right now, you've got the opportunity to go out for a run and do a bit of exercise. It's possible that in the weeks to come, things may get a little bit stricter, but regardless, you're all in a position to do some exercise. There's loads of really good stuff online. So do try and do some exercise and keep yourself healthy. I think it's also okay to just embrace relaxing at times, embrace having time, not rushing off to things, perhaps do a little bit of reading, catch up on box sets, whatever it may be, but actually embrace switching off from things and allowing yourself to relax, which is something that arguably we don't do enough. Do really keep in touch with tutors and teachers, particularly if you've got concerns, have a chat, but just generally have a chat as well, and just keep in touch with us, please. Final thing from me is a slightly practical one. It's probably more aimed at the lower six, but upper six, it involves you too. I did say to the lower six last week that we were planning on getting the prefect voting out last week. Obviously, other events overtook us, and I didn't really want to do that at the end of last week. But in the next few days, you will all get an email from me with a link which will enable you to vote for prefects. That email will explain kind of criteria and give you a little bit of guidance about what you might be voting for. But if you've got any questions, get back to me and let me know. But hopefully we can get that done and have an idea again this side of the summer holidays as to where we're going with that. Okay, I'm going to pass you on to other people for a few messages, but look after yourselves. Make sure you're staying connected remotely. Make sure you're registering in the morning. Make sure that you're there at lesson time so that you can ask questions of teachers and bounce things off them. General studies today, I've decided to give you private study, and guess what? You can treat yourselves to an early lunch. Have a really good day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Morning guys, coming at you from the sixth form atrium. Hope you're enjoying the sixth form assembly of sorts. Obviously it's the last week of term, so I wanted to wish you good luck for this last week of learning, and although it's slightly strange that we're not all here, and of course we will miss you all, it's great that we can be remote learning from home and making sure that we are doing that this week, guys, and that we're staying in our routines. And that's my message for you today. Make sure you're checking in with Microsoft Teams, Firefly, doing the right thing, and even more than that, for your own sakes, just getting into your right routines, waking up early in the morning, showering, breakfasting, and yes, I am going to say it, making sure we're getting out there and we're fired up, ready to go. All right, we'll see you on Microsoft Teams later on.
Morning, folks. So the weekend's gone, and after the bombshell of leaving school, I hope you've had a little bit of time to process the information, and whilst all still a little bit uncertain, maybe had a little bit of time to get your head round not being in school for the foreseeable future. With regards to exams, none of us still really know the full impact of how that's going to be, so try not to worry for now. So I thought it's important really with the next few months coming to give you a few tips of how to keep yourself and your mental well-being as good and sound as it can be. So the first thing is, it's good to talk. Make sure you keep in contact with your friends, and if there are any worries, that you share them with either friends, family, or as a sixth form team, we're still here, so contact us. Social media, obviously we've got a social distance, but you've still got your impact of social media, which is fantastic for you guys. You've already got a virtual social grounding going around you, so carry on using that, but obviously be careful, limit it, don't spend all the time on there, because obviously that has its detrimental effects as well. Thirdly, sleep. Make sure you get a good night's sleep. I know that you're probably thinking, well, I don't have to get up for that alarm, I don't have to be in, I've got to register at 8:15, but I don't have to be there, so I can do it from the side of my bed, so that's fantastic. But a good night's sleep is still just as important. Try not to be still snoozing through till 11 o'clock in the morning because you're gone to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Healthy lifestyle, I say. Get out there, exercise. At the moment, we can still go outside and the weather's fabulous, so get out as much as you can. But if we do go into lockdown, make sure you still do some exercise inside. It's all going to help with mental well-being, all going to help you with your emotional state, especially when things get a little bit tough. But keep safe out there, guys. Hope to see you soon, and look after each other. Bye.
101, 103, 100. Oh, hi. Sorry, you got me in my warm-up set there. Just wanted to say, everybody, obviously we're not going to be there tomorrow. I miss you guys very much. But in this period, I think the most important thing to remember is small acts of kindness. The Chancellor the other day talked about what would you like to remember when you look back at this time. It's going to be difficult, it's going to be tough. But I think the thing that we really need to focus on, work on together, is our small acts of kindness. And that can manifest itself in any way that you can imagine. Cooking a meal for mum and dad, making their lives a bit easier, maybe dropping something round for a neighbour or helping them out, getting some shopping, doing some gardening, anything like that. Finding an old people's home on the internet that's nearby and writing them a letter just to anyone. A lot of old people are going to be very isolated at the moment. They're going to have a tough time. There can be no visitors, and that can make a huge difference to somebody's life. So please, anything like that, those small acts of kindness, you can't imagine what a big impact they could be. And certainly that's something I'll be writing to all the lower sixth about over the next couple of days. So look after yourselves, stay safe, and look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.